You know what it is, of course, the Quick Silva Show, DTLR Radio, all in one. At one time, as I love to say in real life, and I love spotlight people doing amazing things. And this brother here, before I knew who he was, I've heard about him. His story is historical, especially if you're born and raised in Washington, D.C. And now this guy has gotten to a space where he's kind of in the same rooms as me because he's doing a digital platform that I'm going to go ahead and say that's just as big as me. Pause on that, by the way. My man Curtbone is here. What's up, brother?
What's up, man? Good to be here, man. Good to be here, definitely, man.
That's crazy because the last time we saw each other, I was on this side.
Right.
So if you missed, man, Curtbone TV doing amazing things. He got a chance to sit down with myself, and you were the interviewer.
Right, yeah.
And now you're on the other side. You're the interviewee.
Exactly.
How did, before we get to your backstory, how did you really start this whole Curtbone TV movement?
Just wanted to get an opportunity to show myself in a different light. You know what I'm saying? You know, the street credibility and the street thoughts that people had about you. I want to show myself in another light. You know what I'm saying? Let them get another perspective of me. So I say, I'm going to get into that digital world. You know what I'm saying? And just get out there.
Did you have any idea it would take off the way it's taken off?
No, I didn't have an idea, but I go into everything feeling like I'm a home run hitter. You know what I'm saying? So I try to keep that mentality. You know, but I didn't. The love is, is phenomenal.
It's crazy because, like I say, before I sat down with you, I was watching you interview. I'm like, yo, this guy's actually a dope interviewer.
Right.
A lot of people try to, buy a mic and say I'm a podcast, and but they don't know how to ask the right questions. And I was just watching some of your previous interviews, and some of the people you were sitting down with are people that normally wouldn't sit down and do interviews.
Right.
But they felt comfortable with Curtbone.
Yeah.
For people who don't know who you are, let's just say somebody's listening for the first time and they're not from the city. Tell us a little bit about who Curtbone is.
Man, I'm just young black guy. I like to stay young. I always say I'm stay young till I die. But just born in Washington D.C., man. Typical life. You know what I'm saying? Would come from Lansing Terrace, the oldest community in D.C. The first community in D.C. And man, just got on the bad foot. Like everybody else. Come through those 80s, stuff falling out the air, you catching it. You know what I'm saying? So now just just giving back right now, just trying to. Get some of these jewels out, man.
Right, for people, man. And like you say, and we're just speaking open and honest here. Like you came up in the era where in the 80s and 90s, you were doing two things: you were playing sports, or you were pretty much selling drugs.
Yeah, like my man say, wicked jump shot,
or you selling crack rock. And like I say, a lot of us, like I said, we're not judging. That we got into it because that's all we saw.
That's all you saw.
That's all we saw. But of course, like you say, Curtbone, your name rang out.
Right,
you flourished in the streets for a minute.
Right, definitely, man. Just like I say, that's all we saw. And like the older guys before, that was our first entrepreneurs. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We didn't understand the whole picture of it, but that was the first people we seen how you mind, how they talk, how they dress, how they act. So that's what you wanted to be, man. But again, like you said earlier, from the interview experience I had, that was just me translating from being able to mediate numerous neighborhoods at one time.
Right.
Just the same thing, asking questions. And all that.
A lot of people that are watching, of course, that still might be in the streets, they have that mindset that I'm smarter than everybody else. I'm never gonna get caught. I feel like we all had that mentality. I'm good because you get a year run, then it turns into a 3-year run.
Right.
God forbid you make a 10-year run. In your mind, I'm untouchable.
Exactly.
But at one point, you had to go behind the walls.
Right. Definitely. 1989, April, never forget it.
Right.
They came and got me, man, and I was one of the ones that thought that my blueprint was, was unbreakable.
Right.
And and the feds, they come like death, the thief of the night. You know what I'm saying? You never,
when they come grab you, they got you.
And the funny thing about it, you see people getting in trouble, and they be saying, "Man, he supposed to be getting all that money," and not in my case, but in a lot of cases, they say he's supposed to be getting money, and he can't afford to learn attorneys, right? But there's a reason for that, because when they tap your phones and listen, they know what you're going through financially, so they'll wait.
They wait.
You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, he a little messed up, and go get him.
And that's crazy. And I'm hoping somebody like us, doing this interview kind of opens their eyes to, somebody who potentially still might be in that street life. And I'm praying for that you are able to get out. But talk about like your first day inside. Like, what was that like, your first day going behind those walls?
My first day going inside from a mental standpoint, it messed me up, because you coming from right off the streets, and then you running around all the country doing what you want, living a fast life, and then the notoriety of our case and the popularity I had in D.C., they actually, the first day I was locked up, they put me on administrative segregation, which means I can't even mingle with the other inmates for the influence they feel like I have. So I went from never being locked up to lock down. So mentally, it was that was a tough joint, right? The other part was, again, you being around older dudes all the time and hustling and always hearing the stories, I was always kind of not looking forward to, understand I might have to face that one day. So it didn't bother me from that standpoint. But mentally just being locked up and then locked down. When I say locked down, I only came on 3 hours a week. Jesus Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday for 1 hour each day. Other than that, I'm in a cell. So
and that was for years.
Part. No, that's for the first year and a half. So I went to the Feds.
Gotcha.
DC put me on that for for the COs and the inmates. They know I know a lot of people.
Once again, if you just turned into the Quick Silva Show, we talking to I call him my OG Curtbone. Now some people who go in, they always say you only do 2 days: the day you go in, the day you go out. Like, do you think that's a real theory?
I mean, that's a real theory as far as the dates. You'll never forget those dates. You know what I'm saying? But the experience you have, you'll never forget the experience. You know what I'm saying? You lose mothers and fathers and good friends, graduation. So, but the 2 dates you always remember: the day they got you, the day they release you.
Now, of course, the day Curtbone came out, what's the first thing Curtbone did?
This morning?
No. The first day you came home from jail.
First day I came home from jail. Man, I was in. They came and got me from Pennsylvania, and I told my mother, man, that time I say, man, let's go get me McDonald's, want to get a fish and cheese, you know what I'm saying? Just want to just go in there, just get in the line, you know what I'm saying, just experience that, right? So after that, man, we just came back home, man, the family and friends waiting for us, and we just kind of just partied all day in the house, though, right? Gathering all that. So that was my first, that's when to engulf it all, you know what I'm saying? And that was my first day with the family and friends, basically.
Of course, man. Now, fast forward until today. Like I say, you have really transitioned into a media mogul, a businessman with a clothing line. Plug that real quick.
Yeah. All Days Gear, man. All Days Gear. You can find it at alldaysgear.com. Also, All Days Gear on Instagram. But yeah, this is my anniversary of 31 years. 26 years.
26 years. Yep. And like I say, I think that's so important because a lot of people, when they come home, they end up going back in because they don't have a plan. I feel like Curtbone had a plan to say, you know what, I'm going to figure this out so that I can stay afloat. Just talk about your mindset and because like my interviews, I like to inspire people that's going through something we went through personally or somebody that's watching or hearing this now, they're going through this right now. For somebody who's just coming home and they kind of lost right now and they don't know which way to turn. What advice would Curtbone give them?
Yeah, first advice I give you, man, you gotta get out your own way. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times we just in our own way. When I say in our own way, our ego and our pride, right? Man, you gotta ask questions, man. You gotta ask for help. You know what I'm saying? And you can't identify what you think help is. Anybody can be your help. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people just reach out to someone they see, they got the flash and got the cars and all that, right? But your uncle, aunt, everybody, just ask for information. Don't be prideful, man, because like now, 2024 has never been, the last 5 to 6 years for returning citizens, it's never been like this. They giving you business loans.
Facts.
They giving you housing.
Facts.
They giving you all type of stuff, right? So you got to tap into that and get that information, you know what I'm saying? So I say, don't be in your pride, don't be in your ego, because in jail, you're trained to don't cut nobody.
Right.
Don't say it to me, I'm saying to you. So when you come home, you got to delete that mentality. You know what I'm saying?
It's hard.
Yeah, you got to delete that mentality because in our world, it's called cutting in, but in the real world, it's called networking.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to network. You know what I'm saying? So I recommend you just try to change your way of thinking and just ask questions, man, and jump out there.
Now, speaking of course, like the way, 2024, although there are a lot of resources and money out there and resources for returned citizens, the crime right now is ridiculous.
Crazy.
We came up in the era, like I said, and I think the difference now, like I say, crime has always been bad in places like DC, like Baltimore, like a lot of metropolitan cities. The difference now, we see it because of social media. We see it and it lives there, and we hear about it more. Do you think times are worse now than they were when you really out there in them 80s and 90s as far as crime?
I think all of it always been bad, but I think it's probably, I would consider it worse now because crazy this might sound, we had some mentors of doing crime back then.
Right.
You know
No, you're right.
Like the youngest now don't got no mentor doing crime. They getting their crime off a TV game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So go do this, rob, snatch them out of their car, shoot the police. So in our world, old head was smackers in our head, and we even thought to do that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so the crime always been bad, but like you said earlier, it's visual now, and then the young guys is just like, it's like getting a puzzle and don't get the instructions to it.
Right.
They just trying to mix pieces together. So I'll say it's worse now though.
And I think that another big difference just coming up in the 80s and 90s, because I came up in that saying, you're a little older than me. But I came up around those.
For the interview, I was outside for a while. The interview, I researched you, man.
I was outside for the early 90s, right? But it's crazy. I think the difference was then we had some type of code, meaning that, and I think I said this on the interview, like if me and Curtbone were beefing in the 90s, But I saw you outside with your wife and kids. We're gonna look at each other, and I'm gonna give you the nod, like, you know, you get a pass today. But when I see you tomorrow, it is. But now, I mean, you got women and kids. You got literally youngins, 13, 14, 15 with AR-15 shooting up the park with nothing but women and children.
Right.
Like, how do we? Is there anything you think that we can say to these youngins to make them realize? One, what they're doing is corny. Because like you say, if I got beef with Kirk, I'm going to come directly at you.
Right.
I'm not going to shoot in the head and kill 5 people that ain't got nothing to do with it. Like, how do we combat that mindset of them thinking that's cool and okay?
The only thing I can say, and trust me, this is not a shameless plug, because I was talking about opening up a mental health facility, right? It's mental health issues, right? Because just like you just said, coming outside with their loved ones, they don't even have the mental capacity to understand is you just dumped up a whole park and you knocked down 3 or 4 guys permanently. They literally the next day they feel comfortable taking their little daughter to school. It's not even in their brain mindset. It's not even their brain mindset that what you just did.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
now your wife, your mother, everybody's
right. In our time, you didn't see a lot of that because dudes understood. Once they did that, they were like, "Mom, come home, girlfriend, go back to your mother's house."
Right.
We understood that. So the mental health is so incredibly gone that a lot of it is mental illness. We looking from our lens and saying, why would he do that? Why? It's not even his brain. Why he doing this and why he not doing it. So the mental illness piece, man, is something that's got to be addressed consistently.
And this is a good way to kind of segue into what you are opening up. You're talking about opening up a mental health facility, correct?
Yeah. One mind at a time mental health service. It's an outpatient clinic. We're working on it in PG County. We just service all of Maryland once you get open, right? But yeah, and like I say, I wanted to get in everything I do business. I want to make money, but this is more passionate for me. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like I've been doing the work with mentoring, whether it been with programs, coaching programs, or whatever. Like I say, my man from Cherry Hill Eagles, you know, he worked with him and all that, right? Definitely. So it's like I just want to be able to attack from the other end because I'm saying I can get them to a certain. Curtbone can get them to get their attention. Right. They listen to you, meet with you, and all that. But now you got to be able to pass them off to somebody that can take them to the next level and understand the diagnosis of why they're thinking the way they think. So, man, I just want to get in that business, man, and really continue being helping on a whole nother level.
This is super dope, man. Once again, if you're just tuning into the Quick Silva Show, Curtbone is here. Now, of course, all days you can get that online. Of course, Curtbone TV from and if you think this is something, y'all got to come watch some of his past interviews. Right, like I get a guy, the guy know what he's doing. Right, where can they watch Curtbone TV as well? You
can watch Curtbone TV on YouTube. It was just said Curtbone, Curtbone. Gotcha. Just Google YouTube, and the name of the show is actually Exchanging Jewels, but you can Google even one of those on YouTube, and you get the interviews.
I'll tell you one last thing, man. I got to shout you out because I always say, and this is like, they call me the Party Kingpin, right? I've been DJing, throwing parties for 3 decades now, selling out shows and arenas, but it's not easy to sell out a party with thousands of people by yourself. So when you think of some of the most successful parties in Washington, D.C. and abroad, normally it's 6, 7 promoters, 8 sub-promoters, 4 bands, and they try to get 1,000 people.
Right, yeah.
This guy, Curtbone, threw a birthday party, right? And I mean, you had well over, I don't know how many the exact number, but I'm gonna say 2,000 people. Like, if that don't show you and give you your roses now, I'm not sure what will, because I'm telling you, that's not easy. Right. Like, how in the world were you able to say, I'm Curtbone, I'm throwing a birthday party, 2,000 people come out, and you got to pay? Right. like it ain't like he let 2,000 people in free. People came out, actually bought a ticket, bought tables to support you. Like, how does that really make you feel to really get like? And I said that's real life support. When they say the city don't support the city, nah, Curtbone just proved that wrong. Right, yeah. The city came out, like the real DC came out for Curtbone. Oh yeah. Like, how did that night feel for you, man? You had it for like a king.
Yeah, you said the right words, and that's what I was talking to my good friends. I was saying you get an opportunity to get your flowers when you living. You hear that slogan, but you never. A lot of times you don't get the experience, right? So it was one of those moments right there. The DMV whole area always been good to me. You know what I'm saying? They know the youngest say they get out the mud. Nowadays we say we live off the land, right? I live off the land my whole life. My short period of running illegal, that was land, it was negative. Even when I came home, I live off the land as far as cookouts, parties, mentoring. So they always see me. They always know they can system is like a brand, it's like Ritz-Carlton or something. You know what I'm saying? They know what they're going to get. Man, and it's unreal. That was just visual, but I'm not saying every day I'm walking down the street, people get out of their car and hug me. Like people stop and say, like, the love is real. You know what I'm saying? So I don't take it for granted. It don't go to my head. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, it's just telling people, like we was talking about earlier. People just gotta be consistent. They walk. The people are gonna see who you are. You can walk however you walk. They're gonna see you how you walk. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, man, there's a lot of love, and I appreciate it, man. And they turn out for me, man. You know,
this guy, like, and I think I was watching. Shout out to Tony Lewis Jr. I think I was watching. Yeah, that's my guy. Him and his dad, of course. But I was watching an interview he did, and he was saying like what Curtbone did. I don't think people really realize it. Like, I'm in the party world, like. You know, DC right now, you think of the popular clubs that are popping, you know, it's 300-400 people. Only club that's probably left is, you know, my spot, Park on Friday. We still do 2,000 people. But outside of that, like it's not easy. Like, and I think he made the example, like, there's not a Washington Wizard or a Commander that can throw a birthday party right now, today, and get 2,000 people just to come out on their name. That's how big the street guys, you know, are for people that really, you know, not just live the life, but people that really respect where you come from and where you are now. I always say, never let where you come from dictate your outcome, and I believe Curtbone's a walking example and testimony of that. But that showed when you solid like a Curtbone. Like, people really support. So I think I get frustrated when I hear people say this stupidest shit ever, like the city don't support. And I'm like, maybe they don't support you. For 30 plus, all I get is love in DC and Baltimore. I mean, I think Curtbone gave me the title. He said Quick was born in Bmore, but baptized in DC. Because I've been there for 2 decades, But Curtbone is the same thing. Like, this is, you really showed the city that if you solid and you say who you are, and you stay 10 toes down, as the kids say, and stand on business, people will support you.
Yeah, exactly.
And you got that, man. You have another party coming up? Plug that, man.
Yeah, I got working on. Well, I have one Juneteenth, June the 18th. Washington D.C. Look like it's gonna be downtown at the Western. No work the next day, which is the 19th.
Dope.
Yeah, working on that, man, and hopefully that you know they bless that one to come out there too, man. But like you say, this man, the love they give me, quick. Like you said, you've seen it, but it's been like this for 30 years.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? And consistent. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, I don't take it for granted, man. It's like you say, people just gotta walk they walk, man. You gotta walk they walk, man.
Facts, man.
You gotta walk they walk.
Hey, once again, man, when it's all said and done, what does Curtbone want to be remembered as and remembered for?
I want to be remembered, man, for a dude that instructed change, man, and stimulated somebody's brain, right? You hear a lot of people saying they want to be leave generational wealth, and I understand, and I want generational wealth as well, right? But I also want to leave generational wealth for legacy. My family, far as this part, wherever they walk in the door, they can say, open that wide, because that's Curtbone grandson, or that's Curtbone granddaughter. You know what I'm saying? And I close it by saying, I want to live forever. When I say live forever, I know we all got a date. We all got an expiration date. But you think of guys like Muhammad Ali and Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and Nat Turner and so on, they never gonna die.
Absolutely.
You're gonna continue to talk about them till the world comes to an end, right? So I want to leave a legacy where I actually never die. I'll die in the physical form, but I will never die. You know, I can still be inspired from heaven or wherever.
And I always end my show with a vitamin of the day, man. But I'm gonna give you the vitamin today, where if there's a youngin' right now or somebody that's older, that's going down a life of crime, that's going through something, losing loved ones, someone that believes that this is all that's left in my life. I'm never going to get no better, so I may as well continue down the path I'm going. If Curtbone could say something just to save one of these youngers, like I say, we know that life and we know where it leads. It leads to 2 boxes. You pick one. You want the coffin or you want the jail box. Like, that's literally where it leads for 100% of people, right? For the one youngin that's out here wilding right now, if Curtbone could at least say something to him or her, because it ain't just the guys, what would Curtbone say to potentially save their life?
Man, I'll say don't look at your current state. It's going to be your state, your infinite state. You know what I'm saying, man? It's going to get better. You know what I'm saying? Life throws you a lot of curveballs, and sometimes you be walking in the darkness and you think there's no potential for light, right?
Facts.
Don't give up, man. You know what I'm saying? If any positive you ever had in your life, whether it's been your first grade teacher, your next door neighbor, whoever, man, find somebody to go talk to. You know what I'm saying? You be talking with is really a big key. It's medicine. You know what I'm saying?
And a lot of people don't talk.
They don't talk. They don't talk to people, man. And the people who and also the person that knows someone like that.
Yeah.
You got to pull them up. You know what I'm saying? You got to talk to them, right? But it's like, man, I recommend for to be that young lady or that young man. man, don't go somewhere, ask for help, man. You know what I'm saying? Go if you got some money, go across town. If you beefing, go across the next city, and just see stuff. Just walk and come back. You know what I'm saying? Understand your block is not the only thing. Yeah. You moving through your block, but there's a big world out there.
And it's crazy. I know we got to wrap this up in a second, but you touched on a point. A lot of these beefs and a lot of these murders and senseless violence is happening. It's never Quicksilver and Curtbone, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say we beefing. Mm-hmm. Because we don't, our ego and pride won't allow us to have a man-time conversation. It's the outside noise. So now a lot of the youngins, like you say, a lot of this stuff don't even be that serious. And I think one of my vitamins was the other day, if it ain't that serious, let it go. Like if it's not life-changing right now, it's not taking no money out your pocket, it ain't harming nobody that you physically love, you know, why do we take it so serious? But it ain't us. That's something I always say to the youngins. If you really had a conversation with the guy you think you got beef with online, because we know 90% of these new beefs start on the internet, which is goofy to me, but that's a whole nother conversation, right? But you know, they start on internet by tweeting each other and Instagram each other and you know, calling each other ops and drop your location, right? And then the outside noise gets in their ear. Now it's your man like, yo, yeah. And now I don't want like no sucker, so now I got to tool up and the beef wasn't that serious. Like it could have been something so simple that we'd be like, yo, Kirk, my bad, yo. I apologize. We good. And we shake on it. And we ain't gotta be friends, but we not great kill each other.
You can agree to disagree.
Right. We want to go get some money and go home.
Yeah, you agree to disagree.
I wish some of the youngers, like I say, and I think that's the mental health piece, and I'm glad you're starting that. And I'm praying for more OGs like yourself. We find a way to not be afraid of these youngins and really have those real conversations. Shout out to my guy Uncle T down in Baltimore. He just went viral because it was some youngins that were doing some type of podcast or something in the street, and he saw it. And whatever they was talking about, I guess he ain't like it. It must have been something, you know, street something. And Uncle T jumped out his truck literally and like cussed out the whole block. And I mean, he went like this on the block, and just went, and he like, I'm not scared of these youngins. Like, we need more men that's on man time to jump on him like, yo, this shit not cool.
And they actually looking for guys like that.
This shit phony. Y'all great kill each other over some dumb shit. Like this ain't, and like, and of course that moment went viral, but like that's who he is. They need more people like Uncle T. They need more people like Curtbone. They need more people like Tony Lewis Jr. Like so many people that really believe in the youngest, because I think that's something I look whenever I'm talking in schools and neighborhoods. They feel like nobody believes in them. Nobody believe in me, so why should I believe in myself? Exactly. But you got people like me. You got people like you that's really doing this work 24/7, not for notoriety, not for money, just because we really care, because we know where their life might lead.
Exactly.
So I say kudos once again, man. Get Curtbone his flowers. If somebody's not following you, where can they follow you on social media and pick up your podcast, your TV show, your T-shirts, your everything? Plug it right now, man.
Man, look, you can follow me at Instagram. It's Curtbone, CURTBONE_DC. Also, the same name for my Facebook, and my websites and my clothing is All Days Gear, ALLDAZ Gear. And my podcast is YouTube, Curtbone TV, or even look up Exchanging Jewels, man. And especially Instagram, I actually get it. I might don't get directly back to you, but you know, on Sundays and Saturdays I check it and try to get back to most people I can.
Say less, man. You know what it is? The Quicksilver Show. When I say it's believable, it's in real life. We back here next week, same time, same place. Salute.